You are welcome to yet another episode of HN What's Your Say? The #1 listening show, where we discuss real issues with real people like you. We are still featuring R. Kelly. Real name Robert Sylvester Kelly. Also known as the R&B King. The allegation of enticement among the charges R. Kelly is battling in court is one of the most disturbing, considering his social status alone did not require him to be luring women into his orbit as alleged by government if he wanted them to be with him. While there are many ways to interpret enticement, government's description in the indictment was that Robert lured women into his orbit, which is so far from the truth. While there is no evidence to prove that R. Kelly lured any women into being with him, there is also no real motivation to suggest that he could have needed to do this after all. Unless the government suggests that celebrities should refrain from leading celebrity lifestyles filled with shopping sprees and many other good things any woman would enjoy, there is plenty of reason to believe that R. Kelly needed not entice any woman or trick them into being with him. If anything, it's most likely that events unfolded the other way round, where it was the women luring R. Kelly into being with them. There is a tendency to assume that by default whenever women are involved with men, it's got to be the man asking to get together and making the demands, but in R. Kelly's case it was completely different. All available evidence shows that R. Kelly, who was charged with counts of enticement and coercion, was on the other hand pursued by these women who lured him to be with them, and deceived they were 18 so he would think it legal to date them. And this is a reserve for the one Azriel Clary, who claimed was left with a few months to turn 18. But also confessed that her very mother Alice Clary and father Angelo had advised her to lie to R. Kelly she was an adult woman with plenty hope to economically benefit from this celebrity relationship. Her mother did not stop at training her daughter on how to lie she was 18, but also provided coaching on how she was to seduce R. Kelly into a sexual relationship with her. And there is plenty evidence to attest to this act in which R. Kelly was technically lured by the very same women the Chicago court says he enticed. It would be great to understand whether sleeping with a female is the same as luring or enticing the female, and if that is the case, why the two are considered different and separate criminal acts. Because the enactors of the laws knew that many a time a man may get involved with a woman without necessarily luring her, they separated the two and each act may carry a separate charge onto a defendant. The enactors also understood that many a time, women also do the luring and not the other way round. For the Chicago federal judge and his jury to therefore conclude that because R. Kelly was allegedly in a relationship with each of these women he must have also enticed them is wrong. Plus, why would he even need to entice any women to be with him in the first place? It's on the record that women were always the ones longing to be with the R&B king and making all the moves to hook him, not the other way round. If this is what the court terms as enticement, then so be it. But unless the courts wish to charge R. Kelly for simply being the celebrity he is to whom many females were attracted, and for choosing to act like one by living large, which is also a lifestyle many would love associate with, making false claims that R. Kelly had to entice these women is out of context, and the enticement charges are therefore irrelevant to his case and must be dropped with immediate effect. Perhaps if there had been no malicious attempts by government together with their court counterparts to force coercion charges onto R. Kelly which were twined into a single count with enticement, we would think that they are probably unaware of what they are doing with the enticement allegations. But fond of this malicious tendency to smuggle extra charges onto his charge sheet, we are compelled to think that the attempt to slot in the enticement charges was intentional, considering everyone who knows his celebrity would get lost into thinking it's illegal to live like one. In fact, many people think that the unusual celebrity lifestyle is not acceptable in society for many reasons. They simply can't comprehend the lavish spending on shopping sprees, holidays and endless getaways. It's therefore not necessarily surprising that they would think it illegal to live this way, but technically, there is nothing illegal here. To therefore conclude that R. Kelly enticed women simply because he shared his celebrity lifestyle with them when they eventually succeeded in luring him into a relationship with them is not only a miscarriage of justice, but also a lack of understanding of the law. Meanwhile, apart from the text message evidence which proves R. Kelly lured no women to himself and that it was instead the other way around, there are images online which graphically explain the dynamics of these encounters between the R&B king and his accusers. Even when his 2008 trial was still ongoing, a one gerunde felt it necessary to lie in wait in the courthouse arena like a demersal fish waiting to pounce on its prey, And as R. Kelly walked out and away from the courtroom, she can be seen technically chasing him and struggling to start up a conversation. We cannot deny that she and her co-accusers could have been starstruck, but this is certainly not R. Kelly's fault or responsibility. And locking him up for being the loved star he is in the name of enticement was like the dumbest thing for the US Department of Justice to do. People should be punished for real crimes they have committed and not sentiments over what their lifestyle is or shouldn't be. Just because a person is a celebrity does not qualify him as guilty of crimes his accusers cannot attest to. And if it is illegal for one to be black and at the same time a celebrity in this country, we ought to be made aware of this such that we can advise our sons and daughters to abandon their ambitions of joining the industry. Also important to remember is Azriel's confession during the Gayle King interview, when she reminded the world that it was in fact her parents' plan that she lures R. Kelly into being with her, and that as she does this, she was to ensure to take pictures and videos which they would later on use to blackmail him. And this was in addition to lying to him she was an 18-year-old adult woman she looked so much like. To later charge such a victim as R. Kelly for enticement is completely out of context. According to Kelly Kid, "It's so disturbing how people will say anything against you if they don't get their way. However, this is childish and eventually karma will return to haunt them." Many of the accusers were simply disappointed individuals who thought R. Kelly was going to marry them, only to later realize he was not an easy target to manipulate, and with the hope to finally grab something for free, they teamed up with our mercenary government to aid corporations against him and finally achieve their long-lost dream of stealing his money. As an artist distributed by Sony, to pick up a fight with the company is like digging one's grave. The label is always ready to eliminate you, and sadly, our prosecutions department is always available for hire by such corporations which are willing to spend a fortune to take down one man. If you wish to take part in a live interview on this channel discussing any of these topics, let us know by emailing us on sashahnnewsroom@gmail.com for scheduling. That is all we had for you today on HN What's Your Say. To keep updated whenever we post a new video, subscribe to this channel now. Also remember to hit the bell icon and enable notifications. And feel free to share your opinions with us in the comment section below, and let us know if you would like us to publish your views in our next release. We value all our subscribers' opinions.